not the counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch.
Welcome to yet another exciting edition of Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. On this edition of the program, Nigeria's relay team qualify for World Championship. The Tigers tip off at the Afro Basketball Championship, and in football, Nigeria stone co-host at the Women's World Cup. Details of these and many more will be yours when we return from the break. Stay with us.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
Welcome back. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and Eputan Police here.
It's a delightful morning. So glad to be here. Already basking in the euphoria of the win yesterday from the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Nigerians are all in the state of glow because of the activities, let's say the performances of the Super Falcons against their counterparts from Australia, co-host of the Female World Cup. But first, we'll have to look at other sports, and we'll start from the world of athletics, where after several attempts to be amongst the top 16, Nigeria's 4x100 meters relay quartet sneaked into the 14th spot on the World Athletics ranking yesterday, and this gives them the chance of qualifying for the World Championship scheduled to get underway in Budapest, Hungary, in just about a few weeks from now. Epo, it's been a very long journey for Nigeria to qualify, to be among those that could have a chance of being at the world.
To 38.26 seconds, which is a good one. If you look at the likes of Favor Ashe, you look at the likes of Alaba Akintola, and then you talk about that man Ajayi and Gossen Brume. You remember that Gossen Brume was not part of the trials in Benin City, but somehow because of we need to qualify. Initially, the Athletic Federation said that if you are not part of that trials, you cannot be part of any of these outing. But somehow they had to get their best to qualify, and I'm so happy that the two were able to limit. Now the implication is, with the time we have gotten now, we've been able to bring it down, and we're now in the top 16. It is not done and dusted. We still need to battle to be sure that we pick one of the tickets. That is what it stands about. The good news is that we're now in pole position to pick a ticket.
Nigeria is now in the position to contest for a ticket. Those who will be going to the 4x100 meters relay event at the World Championship coming up in Budapest, Hungary. It's not just the male team, the female, and of course the relay quartets as well already gotten into let's say the position to contest for who gets to the championship proper.
Yes, we have the 4x100 meter for the female, 4x400 meter for the male, and so for the female too. That of the female looks like an easy roster. They have already done that. They've already qualified. But for the male, it's always been a difficult one because you're not just coming alone. We have others who are going to be there, so they're going to hope that they get past Kenya. So they can pick the ticket because Kenya will participate in. But our hope, it looks shining because Kenya are not that too known for short sprint races, and so that's for me a strong confidence and a boost. But let's see how it all pans out. I'm very optimistic that with what they've done in the relay team, we're not part of the event at the last Olympic, and it will be very bad again to see them miss out, from this one coming next year. So I think that the Athletic Federation is very intentional about it. I could hear from the Secretary General of the Athletic Federation, Rita Mosinde. She has come out to express that this is a good fit and they can even do more better in the coming days. Now that we are in the 16 team pool, let's see what we can do to pick the final ticket.
4x100 meters relay women, 4x400 meters relay women, and right now we have the 4x100 meters event for the mixed event. Relay event is part of this which Nigeria has qualified.
For the relay event, we have qualified for the female 100 event and that of the 1x400, but we have not qualified for the mix because at some point we're having challenge. The men too have not qualified for the 4x100, which we are struggling to qualify because we need to be among the top 16 teams. That's so far what we know, but I'm sure that in the coming days it will be more clearer because not just you, as you're battling here in Africa, same with other teams across the globe, and you need to meet up the target. So they have a certain number of things that must go through. Nigeria doesn't need to just be in that place. So that's why it seems like we're qualifying, because your timing here truly does not matter. What matters is the standard that is generally in the world for the qualification process.
I think we have made the qualifications for the mixed relay event, and we just hope that those who have gotten to this stage will just take it to the next level, and of course do qualify for the World Championship in Budapest, Hungary proper. But talking about Nigeria, I'm going to World Athletics Championship. The cast seems to be on Tobi Amusan's fate. Will she or will she not get to be part of those going to World Athletics Championship? Having won that world record for Nigeria a couple of months ago, everybody expected her, to get into the mix as because the World Athletics Championship is the admixture of the best in the world of athletics, and so when you have a world champion not being part of it, becomes even more troubling, given the fact that at the last 3 Diamond League event, she had posted time that showed that yes, she meant business and could further reduce our 12.12 seconds in the 100 meters hurdle event less. But it looks now that she really has to battle hard with just few weeks to the World Athletics Championship. What is the state of Tobi Amusan going to the World Athletics Championship in Budapest?
The state of the good thing about this one is the fact that we still have enough time, from now to the later stages of August, before we now start talking about how far it will go. But still, I must say the gospel truth that it looks dark for Tobi Amusan to be there. Yeah, she will go face the panel or tribunal, no doubt, and to see if she can make a claim and appeal, the provisional suspension on her. But will that go through? You missed 3 tests. It's not clear. As the day goes by, a lot of news reports coming in that those tests are avoidable. Those are avoidable instances. So even if as a Nigerian I am not I'm not convinced that she missed those tests, genuinely. It becomes challenging. No doubt we're not casting aspersion on her. We're not saying that she is into doping, but the fact that out of carelessness you miss those tests, it looks dark. I must tell the truth. Even the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, they are putting everything together, but to make a case, for her, looks very dark. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets to miss this particular one, because it depends on what she brings, the evidence tabled before the panel. But one thing starting is that Mr. Siri, Tobilola motion is hanging in the balance.
Tobilola Muson's bid to qualify and be part of the World Athletics Championship, just a conglomeration of the best in the World Athletics, looks a little bit stumbling there because of her involvement in doping violation. Yes, she's not actually been found tainted. She's not, her sister has not been found tainted yet, but she's missed 3 out of competition tests, and she's pleading that she at least did meet up with the 3rd one few days after the deadline was, or do I say the date for her to be part of that out of competition test. But let's see whether the integrity unit will have any of that of our excuse. But it looks very disturbing that a world-class athlete like Tobilola Muson, who should know how to miss 3 out of competition tests, and that's really a serious violation of doping rules. So we'll just think that somehow there will be grace for her to attend the World Athletics Championship. Still looking at the round for the latest happening around the world of athletics for you this hour. 203 countries, April, we are told, has been officially invited for next year's Olympics. The countries that will take part in Olympics, and that they have done. 203 out of estimated 206 countries which are members of the International Olympic Committee.
Yeah, 3 of those countries will not be part of it. The IOC has housed 206 countries, and those 203 were invited. That means some countries will not be part of it. Countries like Belarus and Russia, yes, they're going to have that list, but they're not invited because they are still under suspension. We also know that some other countries that may not be part of it, like I think there is a particular one.
Guatemala?
Yeah, Guatemala will not be part of it. So these 3, they were not invited. So for Nigeria, I'm sure that Nigeria now know that they will be, they have to prepare, because when you receive the official invitation to be part of it, then you have some what do you call it? Some form of confidence, that you are cleared and you do not have any issue with the IOC.
Talking about the International Olympic Committee meeting in Paris yesterday, where official invitations were sent out to the 203 countries that will take part in the next year's Olympic Games. It's traditional for invitations to go out 1 year before, and that's what Thomas Bach, who is the president of the International Olympic Committee, did the event 1 year to the Olympic Games. Jamaica's 8-time Olympic champion and of course gold medalist, won in the 100 and 200 meters event, celebrated Usain Bolt, was the first torchbearer as he accompanied the IOC president yesterday, and of course the French, over 100 French athletes to get this ceremony underway. Epo, one man that deserves to be honored is Usain Bolt. Just that what the Olympic Committee did yesterday.
Yeah, he's already planning to come with his family, because he's now an Olympic ambassador. He's an Olympian, and so want to see how what will come of him. But all through his career, we never had any doping issues. He's as clean as anything, and I think that he's truly a worthy ambassador when it comes to the Olympics.
Usain Bolt, of course, until recently, the fastest man in the world of 100 meters and 200 meters, coming with his family expectedly next year to be the torchbearer of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Now let's quickly stay away from that and see what's happening in the world of cricket. Nigeria's under-19 male cricket team, that's the junior yellow-green, won their first game at the ongoing qualifiers of the International Olympic Committee's under-19 men's International Cricket Council's under-19 men's cricket World Cup in Dar es Salaam, that's in Tanzania.
Countries that that they are in for this competition is the one-week competition that will end on Sunday. One ordinary would have expected Nigeria under 19 team, that is the junior yellow greens, to do the needful. Unfortunately, they were nowhere to be found, and they lost the first game against Sierra Leone, lost the second one against Uganda, and as stands now, is looking disappointing and bleak for them. But the good thing is that they came very strong with 42 runs, got past their counterpart from Tanzania, and then maybe Rapids. That's the only way, because just one team will be picking the ticket to join South Africa for next year's games in Sri Lanka. So for me, I think that it's not a good one at all. I would have expected us to do the needful, but what do I know? I feel that the players let themselves down a little bit. I think that they are getting gradually now with the win against Tanzania yesterday. Maybe it's a bright start. It's going to be a bright start for them now. But as per picking the ticket on Sunday, I'm not so certain anymore.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Sold ticket, only one ticket, and 6 countries vying for the International Cricket Council under 19 bill slot. Let's hope that Nigeria could stand that chance. Like Eko mentioned, the only way Nigeria could get that sold ticket is a couple, or let's say multiple wins. They have to win at least 3 of the next event. They haven't lost 2 and beating the host nation. Let's hope that in Tanzania, event, and we wish the junior Marines the best of luck in this one. Let's stay away from that and go to hockey. Okay, Epo, the 2023 edition of the National Hockey Super League will definitely get on.
So the National Stadium in Abuja is going to be, there will be big activities, because for hockey it's rare. This is the first time I'm getting to see, but this tournament comes once in a year, and to see that the defending champions are already prepared. Kaduna, Delta State are all prepared. The likes of Ogun State are also there. Not forgetting that Edo and Bayelsa, they are always known for this, but it really accommodates a lot of activities here, especially federations having to. It really accommodates a lot of activities here, especially federations having to prepare their for their competition. I'm getting to know that hockey is one of those things. I think that all federations are really living up to this billing, if you ask me.
Let's hope that the Hockey Federation of Nigeria will continue with activities from what we have seen so far from the federation out there. Let's stay away from that and move to handball. And Nigeria's under 18 girls handball are already in camp, intensifying preparation ahead of the International Handball Federation Trophy Africa Continental Phase, which we are told will take place in Abidjan, that's in the Côte d'Ivoire, from the 8th of August to the 19th of August 2023.
For the lad tutored by Coach Chito Adewumi Agbola, I think that they are well prepared. I just believe that they will do the needful. Don't forget that the regional part will have shown resilience, and I have no doubt in me that they can also replicate such. When this particular one starts again. At on the 18 level, I love the fact that we have also built the handball and volleyball to the level of 8th grade, building it from that step, and it gives us avenue, because it's just to graduate the players to the next level, and that's what we're seeing. So for me, Coach Agbola has a very untainted record, very good and untainted record, and I expect him with the lads to do so well. If we get to pick the ticket, it will be fine, but I keep my finger crossed to see what the guests have to do.
In Abidjan, in the next 2 weeks or so from now, we'll have the conglomeration of career sports in a center of Abidjan out there in Côte d'Ivoire. The winner of the competition will represent Africa in the international phase of the International Handball Trophy. I wish this would be Nigeria able.
Yes, it will be. If you look at the way our lads, displayed at the regional level in Ghana, you have no dismay that they're going to do something. But so I expect them now to also pose such feats. The only challenge is that when you have the likes of Madagascar, Guinea, and you have the likes of other teams that will be coming in, then a whole lot. But I think that they perfect their tactics and their plans and display the way that we saw them in Ghana a few months ago. They can also do the same thing. This is going to be historic for them if they get to pick the ticket, and nothing stopping them. It's all about the team play. If we see the same team play, in fact, one of our players emerged as the MVP of the zonal level, so they are good, and I think that we should hope that they can do same like they did in Ghana a few months ago.
Let's bring you what is new in basketball. It looks like because following the inability of the board to inaugurate a local organizing committee ahead of Olympic qualifiers, members of Basketball Federation took a long time to be formally inaugurated here in Nigeria. We cannot talk about a lot of setbacks that have taken place in basketball because of members, or let's say rancor amongst members of the Basketball Federation. Ahead of the Olympic coming up next year in France, qualifiers we are told are supposed to take place. Yet there is no local organizing committee for the smooth hosting of the 2023 FIBA Africa pre-Olympic qualifier with just 2 weeks to the commencement of the competition.
This is not good for Nigeria, and I think that Musa Kida needs to listen to the voice of reason. It looks like the biggest problem a leader has is, or we have, is when you have divided house, and that seems to be the challenge of the Basketball Federation over time. Musa Kida feels that he has other priorities, and he forgets that we are 2 weeks to preparation. Nigeria is also going to participate in this one, and it's an honor to see Nigeria host, this one. So I think that if barring any mini changes, would have seen Nigeria plan before now, meet with this, because it was last month when the announcement was made, that we're going to prepare for this one, and I do not see anything so difficult to bringing out members of the committee that will plan this particular pre-Olympic qualification. I think that we need to start doing things very formal, and just maybe like we here, I was able to chat with to know what is really happening, and information from source display that it seems like there's some particular interest on who members that will become the members of the committee, and so it becomes very challenging for him to bring it to the board, because the board members are not happy. Don't forget, the same board members that were not happy when the new coach of the D Tigers was appointed recently, they said they were not carried along in the opinion. So it looks like a one-week thing, a one-way flow, and they are not happy. So they want the committee to be officially unveiled, so they can know, not doing it administratively and then getting to see them start functioning. So the members of the board are saying, if we are members of the board, then we have right or the discretion to know those that are part of it, and I've given him few times to just bring him, because the competition is on the 14th of August and it's just 2 weeks from now. So they need that adequate preparation, but they first need to know those that will steer the affairs of the pre-qualification event in Nigeria.
Why is it Musa Kida seems to be having one problem after the other? It looks like his vested interest is overriding that of the members of the board of the Basketball Federation. But what do we know here? But it's becoming clear. 2 weeks to a major tournament, members of the local organizing committee, as a precondition for this tournament, is yet to be announced and inaugurated as well. We'll keep our searchlight on the Musa Kida's board of the Nigerian Basketball Federation and hope that they do the right thing, because without a proper organizing committee and 2 weeks of competition, it looks like the competition itself will be shady and, of course, not properly organized. And this is Nigeria hosting several other African countries to this tournament.
Yes, generally in all, from the world stage for the qualification, we have a total number of I think it's about teams that will be part of this particular one from America, Asia, Europe, and Africa. And for Nigeria, we'll be having big teams to be part of this one. So I don't expect any sharp big preparation. Nigeria is a host nation, which is an advantage. We have other countries like Democratic Republic of Congo. I think that whatever be the case, you cannot usurp the authorities, the legal authorities of the board members. What is there to appoint members? Get your members, appoint them. You have the status gives you the discretion as the president or the president to nominate names and forward it to the board for approval or ratification of the names. So if you have done that and they feel that there are names that should not be there, you step it there. Your personal ambition should not override that or that of the interest of the house. Because for me now, regardless of the thought or the plans Musa Kida do have in his mind, it looks like there is a challenge. And when we see things like this, it also tells us that 2 weeks to the time, no preparation, it may not go down well, especially at the time when we don't have the ministry, the sports minister. So I think that this is not a good news. I just hope that we're able to put things right and ensure that we achieve something, in the coming days, because Nigeria cannot afford not to be part of the qualification, and we cannot afford not to pick the ticket during the qualification proper.
President of the Nigerian Parliament, still talking about basketball. The Tigers, that's the female national basketball team of Nigeria, are all set to tip off against Congo Democratic Republic in the very first game of this year's Afro Basketball Women Championship. It has been Nigeria all the way. Can they defend this 2023 edition of the Afro Basketball Championship?
We'll keep our finger crossed because the match is ongoing right now. Okay, the match should be kicking off now. Okay, no, in the next 1 hour the match should be on, because it's 10:30 and we're just going to see how far the Tigers have prepared. Yes, they have prepared, even if I think that the preparation was not top notch. but they are the defending champion. They have won it 3 times on a row. If they get to win it again, that will be historic for them. But our house is looking like we're not on fire. And if you look at the new managerial change, prior to this particular tournament, one will not expect much, but the guys knows the terrain, and I hope that even regardless of the challenges that has been given us as a federation, as a nation in basketball in recent times, I think that the guys can still hold their own strongly and do the needful. Don't forget, the Niger spirits thrive, or our teams thrive when we are in situations like this, like we saw the Super Falcons, and I expect that the first match against DR Congo, they should show that zeal in them, and when they make a clear statement, that will be it, because other nations will start looking at them from that perspective.
New coach Reda Wakama and new set of players, I must tell you, because most of the girls in the team right now are not the established ones that we've often seen that did win the tournaments in the past. It looks like a completely new D Tigers team. Like I mentioned, new coach and new set of players as well. Can they stand their counterparts from Congo DR in the next 1 hour?
It leaves to be seen, Mr. Siri, because like you said, new set of players, blend of local based players and few ones that Rena Wakama was able to convince. So yeah, good G League players. So I think that I cannot really tell, because they never had proper campaign. So maybe from the first match we'll get to predict how far they can go. But I think that if they get to win against DR Congo, that will boost their morale. They are the defending champion, and we have no excuse whatsoever, if we don't go far into this competition. But let's keep our finger crossed, and let's see if we win the first match. That will open up a lot of analysis, and then we can now start predicting or dropping out predictions on how far these ladies can go. But if you look at the history behind this tournament, you will know that we have the history, everything going for us. But then, as it stands now with the team, that we cannot say.
2023 Afro Basketball Championship tipping off in Kigali, Rwanda, with Nigeria, defending champion, 3 times winners, up against their counterparts from the Congo DR. Mali will take on Uganda. Ivory Coast will take on the host country Rwanda, while Cameroon will take on Mozambique in the very first game of the 2023 Afro Basketball Championship. And that is where we'll take our first break on the program. When we return from the break, we'll take a look at latest happening around the world of Formula One. And don't forget, in football, the 2023 Women World Cup is ongoing in New Zealand and in Australia. Super Falcons of Nigeria, they're giving their host nation a lot of trouble. Can they still qualify? Let's see. When we return from a break, we'll see whether the host nation can still qualify. For the Super Falcons of Nigeria, it looks like they have one leg in the round of 16. Stay with us.
Telling him not to count. Telling him not to counterpunch.
Epo, let's look at the latest from the world of Formula One. The Formula One body, that's the FIA, has come out to say that they are looking at this weekend's fixture at the Belgian Grand Prix. A lot of be unsafe given what they've seen in the last few days, and the prediction for the weekend, it doesn't look any better, and so they believe that the Belgian Grand Prix for this weekend should be, postponed. But the Formula One body FIA is still leaving it open, and the fears are genuine. If you remember last month, we saw a driver, he lost his life because an 18-year-old, for that matter, because of weather condition. At this time, you see the FIA buying to some wishes of some drivers that the Belgian Grand Prix for this weekend should be taken up because the weather report is not favorable, especially going to the weekend.
Yes, I think that is in 2018. First off, you look at the venue, the SPA Franca Chop is one championship that has been there. This is not the first time. This is one of the oldest circuits that we have seen. It started from 1925, and from 1985 to this moment, we have not seen. There's no year that we have not seen a Grand Prix in this particular circuit. So you begin to understand the circuit that house close to about 70,000 capacity, viewers and spectators. It tells you how good it has been over the years. But recently we have begun to see some heavy downpour that truly will affect. If it gets to rain on Sunday, that would have been a different thing because the weather conditions, the wetty nature of the circuit would have been advantageous, for the constructors and the drivers. But then when you start, you cannot start with the way the weather is fashioned these days and the weather conditions. You cannot start the practice sessions and the qualifiers with such weather, and the drivers are really speaking tough because for them, some of them knowing that it will not be advantageous to them, they have to just air out. But it all depends on the FIA to look at it critically. If the weather is not good, because thunder strike and the lightning comes with such gloomy weather and not a very good one. But it all depends on if they can change the timetable to suit, that may be fine. Originally, I think that they have to do something about it. This is going to be the last Grand Prix before they go on for the summer holiday or for the summer break, before they come back. So I think that this matters so much. And if you look at the standings, Max Verstappen is not complaining because he understands how these things are done. But I think that it's dependent on the FIA to really know what to do.
The governing body of the Formula One definitely have to look into this one because very wet conditions are expected at the weekend at the paddock where the Belgian Grand Prix will take place, and that is risky to the drivers who will be using this paddock with very, very wet conditions expected at the weekend. Like we mentioned there, we saw an incident that caused the loss of life of an 18-year driver just about a month ago at about the same paddock. So we hope that the FIA will do what is needful to be assured that there is safety of lives as the event gets underway this weekend. Well, let's go to football now, and we'll start on the local scene. The Nigerian Premier League football, the Nigerian Professional Football League Board was inaugurated just a few days ago, and the chairman of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Guzo, is harping on the club licensing requirements to be fulfilled by this Professional Football League Board. The board is expected to ensure the enforcement of club licensing regulations. We've seen sometimes in the past where most of the requirements of this club licensing has been violated by the 20 Premier League club sites. Are we expecting to travel on the same road, or this newly inaugurated Nigerian Professional Football League Board will take club licensing serious as expected by the NFL president himself?
I think that we need to take it seriously. The board understands that if you don't have good club licensing, it's even challenging, when you are playing at the continental level. So I think that we have to follow. We saw how it was last season, and that ensured that some teams are already working towards that. We don't need to kill the spirit, regardless of how difficult it is to change the system. We need to start it gradually, and I love the way the board of the NPFL, they are going about it. It's going to allow team, give them some time. We saw what is happening now in Enugu Rangers. They are developing their stadia, and I think that it's a good one. Let's give some club the way they can go. Take them to stadium if they are not good enough. Look into the internal system the other areas of club licensing if it's not done. But I love the fact that they're not taking it at a stretch. They're just giving them some time, understanding that change is kind of difficult, to overhaul the way we have here. But it's good that they're doing it in a gradual way that will give that will not give stress to the clubs and the management.
Something intriguing for me: club licensing is not new to football here in Nigeria. Club licensing, as required by CAF in the last 2 decades, has been in place, but we still see Premier League clubs, especially, still violating this club licensing as concerns with facilities, concerns with structure, even players' welfare, where